All right, good morning, everyone. I I understand that we have a couple of commissioners have traffic issues that they will still be coming in, um, I'm assuming. But we have a big agenda for the day, and we have a lot of guests here today, so I suggest we go ahead and get started. Let me clarify for folks here that this is a uh, Board of Commissioners work session. That is, it is distinguished from a regular session where we make decisions and where we follow more formalities. This is a work session which is intended to allow us to address the specific target of and subject of that work session, and today it is the ARPA allocation process. It is being streamed live, and while we have this scheduled to go until noon, we will not be offended if any of the public feels like they have to leave at 11:30. I'm just kidding. You can leave at any time you wish, but if you do want to monitor what's going on here, you may do so by going to the feed at GRTV. So, with that, we will go ahead and get started. Let me explain a little bit about what we're going to do here today. Again, as I said, it's a work session. We'll be looking at and pursuing an exercise. There will be no voting. There'll be no positions taken. There's no decisions made in this process. But we are going to engage in an exercise to assist us in the ARPA allocation process. As most of you know, maybe all of you know, that in 2021, the federal government, in its infinite wisdom, decided to allocate ARPA funds across the country, including $127 million to Kent County. These funds are identified to be utilized only within the parameters of the federal regulations that describe how and when and where we may use those funds. It certainly seems like a lot of money, it does to us, but we're trying to keep it in perspective that $127 million is frankly relatively little on a per capita basis compared to other jurisdictions. I think we looked at the city of Grand Rapids probably gets on a per capita 4 times what we received, as well as schools and other local jurisdictions. We made a decision early on in this process that for us, in determining how do we take these funds and do something that's truly transformational in our community, we wanted to look to the public, to our partners in the private sector, to identify what did they see as transformational projects, transformational changes that they could implement in their particular spheres that would really have long-term impacts. So we challenged the public to look for, envision, how might you do that in the areas that you function. And we asked you to make proposals. Now, we were looking for transformational changes in our community. I'm not sure that we anticipated we'd see that much by way of proposals. And in the end of the process for receiving proposals, we had approximately, I think we had 319 maybe more proposals from the community, from individuals, organizations, partnerships that suggested, here's what we see would be a transformational change. Here's a program that we think would have a long-term impact in what we do. So certainly starting by thanking the community for that effort, for reaching out, for envisioning how things might be done differently, how we might partner with you in order to find ways of changing what we do in a long-term effect way. It is clear to us, and I suspect it's clear to everybody who is engaged in this process, that the available funds simply are not sufficient in itself to fund all of those projects. And we've gone through them, and there are a lot of great projects in there. There are a lot of great ideas, and there are a lot of things that we can do differently, I can see. It's just unfortunate that we won't be able to be the partner on a direct funding basis for all of those projects. I speak, I think, on behalf of all of my colleagues when we say, even if at the end of this process it is determined that we're not able or choose not to be the funding partner, please don't lose your visions. These are good ideas. These are ideas that have legs. These are ideas that ought to be continuing even after this process is done. So we would invite you to stay in contact with us if there are things that we can do, even if it is not a direct funder. If there are ways that we can participate with you to find ways to identify funds to make these visions a reality, we're committed to doing that. So, what we're going to do here is to engage in an exercise where we are merely looking to identify the Board of Commissioners' sense and depth and breadth of support for the various projects. Again, this is not a decision with respect to these projects. It is merely looking at finding out what is the depth of support with respect to these projects. I will have our Administrator Al Vanderberg will describe in a bit as to how that will go, how we will do that specifically, and identify what you will be able to see in regards to this measuring, this grading process. We all have screens that will identify for us how it goes. What we see, you will also be able to see on the screen, the large screen off to your left, I guess, if you're sitting facing me. So, our goal with this process is really to help us identify nature and depths of support. We will take what we learn from this process, we will take that back and continue to do assessments and analysis, but use that to inform us in where we go with the next step, which is to identify recommendations with respect to which projects at what levels do we wish to partner with through this process. And that will evolve over the course of the 35 to 40 days after today. That will ultimately lead to a recommended allocation plan that we will then submit to the board for final approval. It is our target to have that done before the end of the year. We do want to get these funds identified. We do want to get them out and where we are moving forward to have these funds being used and the project starting to implement. So let me also describe what we're going to do here a little bit today. We do have a public comment. It is not a formal meeting, but we typically in our work sessions you notice we didn't do the invocation, we didn't do the Pledge of Allegiance. We generally don't do that in our work sessions, but we do have public comment. And so individuals from the public will be given an opportunity. We anticipated there might be a fair number of folks that would be interested in commenting. So what we have identified with respect to how we will handle public comment this morning is there'll be two sessions. One will start momentarily with public comment, and if you are here from the public and wish to address us on a project, we've asked that projects that are submitted for approval or for funding identify a singular spokesperson, so we don't have 5 or 6 people from one project talking in sequence. Please identify one. And then each of those will be given 1 minute. We have received a lot of information already, and my hat's off to my colleagues. Again, we didn't anticipate that when we compiled all this, it would be close to an 800-page document, but it's quite a large document containing the explanation for all of these projects. My colleagues have gone over those. We've reviewed those. Some of us have reviewed them twice, sometimes more than twice, in order to do this process appropriately. So we've already gone through that process, but we are also always willing to hear and listen what it is that you wish to ask us to consider. But please, for purposes of today's exercise, keep your comments down to 1 minute. And while we have 2 sessions, I'm told that we may be able to get everybody who wanted to address us in the first session. We were going to set it at 30 minutes cap and then come back later. But I think unless there is a large group out in the hallway waiting to come in, we'll be able to do this in our first session. So perhaps I've talked enough unless there's something else I needed to say.
Do you want us to cover these details right before the ranking? Or?
Yeah, we'll do that after the public comment. We'll go in a little more detail about what we'll be doing, what you're seeing by way of little fingers clicking here. We'll hear what that's all about after we're done with public comment. So, yes, thank you. I did miss something. In addition to the oral comment, you may submit comments to us for consideration as well in writing, and you may submit that to, that is new, what is that?
That's Phil Spade making an entrance.
You may submit that to publiccomment@kentcountymi.gov. If you go to that, you may submit additional public comment in writing for us to consider. I know some has already come in. They've been printed out and distributed to the commissioners, so we will get that. We will read those if you take the time to do that. So with that, have I covered
I think we're good.
the preliminaries?
Yeah.
Great. Let's move then to the item of public comment. I believe that folks have signed in. Let me just ask Jenny, wherever she is, is the public comment already sequentially identified?
Indeed it is.
Okay, so you can call out the number for me?
Yep.
And then your number is called, please step to the podium, identify yourself by name. It would be helpful if you know your project's number.
Mr. Chair, I do have the number and the name.
You are on top of it. All right. I will
Staff.
turn it over to you, Madam Clerk.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I have speaker number one, Ryan Verwise, Kent County Permanent Housing Coordinating Council. I don't.
Good morning. My name is Ryan Verwise. I represent ICCF Community Homes, one of the 10 partners that are part of the Kent County Permanent Housing Coordinating Council, a group with more than 300 years of affordable housing experience in our community. I'm here to ask that you fund Project 168, a truly transformational project that will help hundreds of working households in our community throughout Kent County to achieve the American dream of homeownership. It will preserve over 320 units of affordable rental housing. It'll add 64 assisted living units, support more than 1,000 households who become new homeowners. Thanks in large part to your leadership, Kent County is a great place to do business and to live. An unintended result of that success has been that there's an incredible shortage of housing that's affordable to working households. Given the strong track record of the Kent County Permanent Housing Coordinating Council, you can be confident that funding Project 168 will move the needle on addressing the housing shortage in our community and further strengthen our county. Thank you.
All right, thank you. I should have explained something about our endearing bell. Instead of me disciplining or legal counsel disciplining the timing by saying, excuse me, excuse me, excuse me, we've installed this very wonderful chimes that is to give you the alert that your 1 minute is up. So, thank you. Sorry about that, but thank you for giving me the opportunity to show what that's about.
Next, Mr. Chair, we have Sharice Mitchell, and on deck we have Kurt McDonald.
Good morning. On behalf, as we wear purple in honor of Domestic Violence Awareness Month, and on behalf of the more than 4,000 people the YWCA serves each year, I am here to respectfully ask Kent County Commissioners to approve the proposal submitted by the Domestic Violence Community Coordinating Response Team. Funding this proposal will help build the robust network required to support survivors, hold perpetrators accountable, and mitigate the risk of domestic violence homicides, which will likely double this year over 2021. You have the opportunity to support a robust collaborative that represents virtually every sector: healthcare professionals, victim advocates, prosecutors, law enforcement across jurisdictions, court personnel, and more importantly, the citizens that rely on these systems for help and safety. You have the opportunity to stand with us in this commitment and tell survivors that we see them, we honor them, and safety, justice, and compassionate care are here for everyone. Funding the proposal will allow stakeholders to reimagine our system of supports and ultimately save lives in Kent County.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next, Kirk McDonald, and on deck, Jacob Saburin. Please forgive me if I butcher your name. I apologize.
Good morning. Kurt McDonald. I'm from Trinity Health St. Mary's here in Grand Rapids. And I wanted to make a comment about
Excuse me just 1 second.
Yeah.
can you also give us the number of the project that they're speaking?
They're going to have to issue the number. That's
Oh,
not on my card. Apologize.
Okay. If you know your number, it would be helpful if you also say, that's project number 35 or whatever, so that, that's a
My-
quick.
My apologies, I do not know the project number, but it's
All right.
the Hartside Health District Revitalization. That's
you.
the title of our project. And just a couple comments. Since 1893, St. Mary's has been a community hospital in an urban neighborhood. And we've been delivering health care for our neighbors and our community in the greater Grand Rapids area. We have a vision to not only address the most significant health needs in our community, but also the most critical deficits in county housing, in the county, including housing, access to food, and job creation. Our vision is to revitalize our neighborhood, and it starts with the construction of our Apex building, which will include proposed spaces for mixed-use retail, housing, community spaces, and a physical connection to health and mental well-being. Our future state vision looks like this: a vibrant residential community with access to grocery, food, and community services for all, an enhanced ecosystem due to better air quality and increased use of solar power, better health due to more green space, employees walking to work, wouldn't that be great? Stronger community engagement, city income from property taxes, sustainable job creation, and improved quality of life for our neighborhood. So, thank you so much.
Thank
Appreciate
you,
it.
and I think that project is 180 is the number, yes.
I might have gotten a text with that number now. 180.
Mr. Chair, Jacob Saborin, who is going to correct me on his last name. And up on deck, Jackie Bultman.
You're the first person to ever pronounce my name correctly the first time. My name is Jacob Sabrin. I'm here on behalf of Feeding America West Michigan. I don't know our number. It's in the 200s. We deal with food insecurity. Feeding America West Michigan has acquired a larger facility and is moving its headquarters to Kentwood. We've requested $5 million from Kent County. That's about 25% of the cost. This expansion is going to go from a 55,000 square foot facility to 121,000 square foot facility. It's going to allow us to increase our ability to address food insecurity for the 70,000 people in the county who struggle to feed their families. We currently work with 280 partners in the county: food pantries, meal programs, shelters, mobile food distributions to provide food for neighbors in need. With this larger facility, we will be able to increase our food distribution programs by an estimated 30% in the first 5 years. We already distribute about 5 million pounds a year to the county, so that's a significant increase. A major element of this expansion is significantly increasing our refrigeration capacity, and this is an infrastructure project that's going to impact the quality of life and health of the county for years to come.
Well done. His project is 235, by the way, project 235. Thank you.
Mr. Chair, we have Jackie Bultman. On deck, Paul Norrell.
Morning. I'm Jackie Bultman. I'm the Inpatient Rehab Director and Interim Administrator for the Children's Rehabilitation Hospital Project, number 217. I've worked in pediatric rehabilitation in our community for 33 years. I've seen firsthand the impact on kids and on their families when kids are struck with sudden illness, chronic illness, traumatic injury, and other chronic conditions. It's well established that kids and their families have better outcomes, short-term and long-term, lifelong, when their care is delivered in environments that are designed specifically for kids, when their families are included and actively involved, and their care is well coordinated. This partnership project of Mary Free Bed and Spectrum Health's Helen DeVos Children's Hospital will increase access to exactly that level of care. We're asking the commissioners to support this project, creating better futures for kids in our community facing these challenges. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Chair, up is Paul Norrell.
Close, very close.
I know, I'm always going to be close.
That's okay.
My blanket apologies to all.
It's all right.
And on deck, David Bellamy.
Good morning, Commissioners, and thank you for your service. My name is Paul Knurl. I'm a trustee.
I was way off.
Close. I'm a trustee in Grattan Township. I've been a trustee there for 20 years. We have a unique opportunity here to purchase a building that's been left empty for 7 years, the Grattan School Academy building. It's 20,000 square foot. The township would use our $415,000 to purchase the building. Unfortunately, it has fallen in disrepair, will need significant remodeling. This would benefit many of the people affected by COVID. KDL will operate a library here. We'll also have daycare, classrooms for children, possibly homeschool daycare, and also a workspace for workers that no longer have an office to go to due to post-COVID. 40% of our residents do not have internet, so this would also be a resource for that as well. Thank you.
Thank you. And the project is project number 6.
Mr. Chair, David Bellamy, and on deck, John McCarter.
Morning, David Bellamy from Catholic Charities. Do not have the project number, but it's in behavioral health. Hispanic behavioral health specifically is our proposal. The national research has shown substantial underutilization of services where there are providers and a shortage of providers. Local data suggests the same thing. I've heard outcry from the Hispanic community since I've been at Catholic Charities, the need for behavioral health services. We recently conducted a survey that was not in our proposal where 43% of the respondents stated they are suffering with domestic violence issues and are looking for support. So the need is clear in our community. We have identified a model, a trauma recovery model. It's been successfully implemented elsewhere in Michigan, and is specifically designed also to address the cultural barriers and the lack of mental health literacy in that community and help them move the process to get them the help they need. We're also partnering with higher education in trying to address long-term the shortage of providers in this space by providing programs. And we have developed a sustainability model that was not in the proposal. Thank you.
Thank you. That project is project number 54.
John McCarter, and on deck, Aaron Doty. No, he actually did the phonetic. Doty. Doty, I did it right.
Good morning. My name is
morning.
John McCarter, Deputy City Manager at the City of Wyoming, here today to talk about Project 144, City Center in the City of Wyoming. It's on page 426 of your nice catalog. This project checks a lot of boxes for the City of Wyoming, and it's not a new project for us. We've been working on this for decades. Really, the goal is to build a true downtown in our city, revitalize a portion of our community that's been on the decline for the last 20 years. This will provide over 400 market rate and affordable housing units. You've heard other speakers talk about the housing shortage in West Michigan, but also 25,000 square feet at least of Class A commercial space, walkability within our community, and connection to historically disadvantaged communities to ensure equity amongst our community. This is truly a transformative, once-in-a-generation opportunity for the City of Wyoming, but for all of West Michigan. This is the old Studio 28 property. Many of you probably remember that. But I appreciate your time this morning, this process, and your service to our community all the time. Thanks.
Thank you. Congratulations, the first one not to trick the Giants.
Aaron Doty, and on deck, Andy Soper.
Good morning.
Good morning. My name is Aaron Doty. I'm Vice President and General Manager for your Grammy-nominated Grand Rapids Symphony. As the second largest orchestra in the state of Michigan and the largest performing arts organization in Western Michigan, the Grand Rapids Symphony reaches approximately 200,000 audience members every year through a series of diverse programs, with nearly one-third of our attendees being students, senior citizens, those with financial limitations, veterans, and people with disabilities. The arts are a critical economic driver in the industry, supporting jobs, generating local revenue, and attracting new residents and tourists. In 2015, arts and culture organizations generated $166.3 billion in economic activity nationally. Music performances are particularly valuable as they are the most frequently attended arts and culture organizations among adults. As live audiences return, the orchestra industry as a whole is seeing current audience attendance at 70% of pre-pandemic levels, and data from the League of American Orchestra projects a 3 to 4 year recovery. Funding from ARPA will ensure we emerge able to remain a vital part of the economic engine of Kent County. Our proposal outlines, which is 132, outlines a specific cycle tied to ARPA funding guidelines that is both vital and sustainable. Thank you.
Wow, well done.
Andy Soper, and on deck, we have Sharon Caldwell Newton.
Before you speak, just, that was project, I think you have 2 projects. 132, okay, thank you.
Good morning, my name is Andy Soper, and I get to work with AYA Youth Collective. It is project number 194 in your hymnal. I'll be square. I woke up this morning feeling like Christmas morning. I get to bring peace on earth and goodwill toward men a bit. My gift to you this morning is just 60 seconds, actually 45 seconds, about our commitment to the margins. AYA serves youth experiencing homelessness in every district in our county. They find with us housing, mental health and medical care, basic needs are met, supportive employment, but our real intervention with these youth is relationships. They find belonging with us, which is why we believe that 91% of our youth that live with AYA go on to find their own permanent, stable housing. 91%. Our proposal is basically based on capital. We've baked into our proposal revenue to support us going forward to make sure that youth are housed, employed, and thriving. Thank you.
Thank you, Andy.
We have Sharon Caldwell Newton and Marcus Ringolda on deck.
Good morning. Sharon Caldwell Newton, Executive Director at CSNP. I'm sorry, I don't know our project number, but we are improving county operations through a preventative animal control approach. CSNP's high-volume spay, neuter, and veterinary services impacted over 20,000 people and pets last year alone. But the community's demand for our services exceeds our space capacity. With ARPA funds, we can acquire a larger facility and double our service capacity. This transformational expansion will help thousands of county residents every year who acquired pets during the pandemic, but who now are unable to access the veterinary care that they need. This gap creates financial and emotional stress on already vulnerable families. Our fee-for-service business model is scalable and sustainable. Your investment will help us leverage other support. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
109. It was project number 109. Oh, sorry. What was 194 was the,
Okay.
okay. I thought I was doing pretty good to get the numbers.
Yeah.
All right, we have Marcus Ringolda, and then on deck, we have Rob Munger or Jim Davis.
Yes, Marcus Ringnalda, Project 52. That's the Four Star Theater. So creating a world-class cultural arts venue in one of the most underserved and densely populated neighborhoods in our community will create an immense and transformational impact for a higher quality of life in an area of our community that has seen only a small fraction of public investment for the last several decades. By activating a historic and culturally significant property for the arts and community use, the project will enhance community pride, build cohesiveness, and create better outcomes for residents of our region. For a half to a third of the price of similar projects nationwide, the project will attract 50,000 visitors, many from outside the county, and it will be a catalyst for a creation of more than 60 jobs and $200,000 in annual tax revenues for local governments. With few exceptions, projects like this do not happen without at least 1/3 of the funds coming from public sources. We've maxed out our local support at 5%. With this funding, this project goes full speed ahead. Please give the Four Star Theater 5 stars. Thank you.
That is project number 52 under Arts and Culture.
Rob Munger? Okay, Jim Davis? All right, we have Jim Davis, and on deck, Carla Moore.
Thank you for allowing me 1 minute to share, Commissioners. My name is Jim Davis. I'm the Director of Housing for Family Promise here in West Michigan. I'm talking about project number 206. Family Promise rehabilitates manufactured homes to allow families who are experiencing a housing crisis, specifically families with kids, to create affordable housing. This project, where we would purchase 2 mobile home communities, would allow us to retain 100 affordable housing units in Kent County, and it would give us the capital to continue that pursuit elsewhere throughout the county. As we've worked, over 225 homes have been rehabilitated to address affordable housing here in the community. And unfortunately, as parks sell to out-of-town investment groups, the lot rents continue to rise. Family requirements are now rising in terms of credit limit, debt-to-income ratios, misdemeanor crimes in their past, among other things. And so what we're trying to do is take control of these communities where we've created and retained affordable housing by owning them. We would really appreciate your support in that.
Thank you.
Am I next again?
Sorry, dude, you only get one.
I know, but am I next?
There's two, we have two proposals, so
I just have, sure.
All right.
All right.
Hi, Commissioners. My name is Jim Davis. I work for Family Promise of West Michigan. I am the Director of Housing, and sadly, this year, to date, we have turned away over 215 families with children from shelter. We are significantly down in shelter rooms available, beds available. We specifically work with these youth in public schools. Over 80% of our families are fully employed. So we're talking about moms and dads trying to get to work, kids trying to get to school, and we just don't have places to house them overnight. While churches in the community through Interfaith Hospitality Network allow us to house them at our day center here in Heritage Hill of Grand Rapids, we would really appreciate the opportunity to own our own shelter units so that these families have a place to go. Families stay with us between 40 and 65 days, and almost all of them find sustainable housing through our case management support, which we offer for over 12 months after they leave our shelters. So we really appreciate your consideration in this matter.
I'm sorry, I missed the second project number?
Yeah, that was 208.
208.
Thank you so much.
My apologies, Mr. Davis. Your card didn't indicate two projects, but I see your second project after the next speaker, so I will void the second. No? Carla Moore, and on deck, Victor Williams.
Good morning. Carla Moore, representing United Methodist Community House. Our project is UMCH 900, should be category quality of life, number 165. And ours is truly a transformational project located right at 900 South Division. And it will transform the corridor and bring necessary needs that we know are documented, including affordable housing for independent living for older adults, up to 64 units for that, an activity day center that allows resource connectivity for older adults, early childhood education, and access to fresh foods. So we thank you for your consideration because this funding would make our capital stack work the way it needs to. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Victor Williams, and on deck, Thad Beard.
Morning, Commissioners. My name is Victor Williams. I'm from Boston Square Neighborhood Association. I don't know the project number, but just wanted to speak to you all today about our resident equity initiative in Boston Square. We have a community partnership with Amplify GR, Oakdale Neighbors, and the City of Grand Rapids. Wish the county was a part of that partnership. It would help us grow further, but we are proposing equity for the residents of Boston Square. This is development that's taking place in Boston Square. Is one of the largest in the history of the Third Ward, and as a neighborhood association that's truly resident-driven, unfunded, we are at the table for the last 4 years, making sure that equity has been a part of the process and that resident voice has been heard throughout the process. And what we've negotiated with Amplify GR, that's quick, is a community-owned grocery store and a community-owned financial institution, which will be revolutionary towards revitalizing the neighborhood. And I don't want to be disrespectful, but making sure that residents have a long-standing stay in the community as the area is not gentrified but developed. And we wish that you would check out our proposal and make sure that residents of Boston Square have an opportunity to stay in Boston Square. Thank you.
All right, that is project number 116, and it's in the community center category.
Thad Beard, and on deck, Steve Quist.
Thank you, Thad Beard, for the Cross Memorial Branch Expansion, project number 159. The city owns the building. KDL operates the library. Cross is the most highly trafficked library of the KDL system in the largest geographical area that the library serves. The use is shared almost equally among the city and area township residents. In the past decade, our service area has doubled, and the demand for our services has doubled in all areas and tripled in others. Jointly, the city and surrounding townships funded a spatial and programming needs analysis and an engineer's estimate for the expansion. We've partnered with a local firm to assist in the capital campaign to raise the necessary funds. We respectfully request you to approve the use of $6 million towards our $10 million project. This is a regional project addressing several priorities of the ARPA funds, and we have formed a large group of people who are eagerly and ready to help raise the remaining funds for the expansion. This will impact regional, community mental health, quality of life, governmental operations of the needs of the Northern Kent County. Thank you.
Thank you. Again, that was Project 159 under Community Center.
What page is that on?
I'm not sure the page in the three.
Thank you. We have Steve Quist, and on deck, Peter, D.A. something. I'm not even going to attempt, sir.
Peter, who?
Good morning. This is Steve Quist. I'm representing Care Resources. It's project number 61 under the Senior Citizen Support. Care Resources is a program of all-inclusive care for the elderly. We currently serve over 300 participants in Kent County with the goal of keeping them out of nursing homes. We are looking to build a second site in Kent County, in eastern Kent County, in the Lowell area. And this funding would help in the construction costs of that second site, serving over 125 individuals and their families. The program is sustainable in the future as it's funded by Medicaid and Medicare dollars. And through our services, we help keep people out of the nursing home, increase their health and health care programs, and we help save tax dollars, the state tax dollars from taxpayers. Thank you.
Thank you. Again, that was Project 61 under Senior Citizens.
And then we have Peter with the last name to be disclosed. And then on deck, we have Marcus Little. That's a good last name.
Good morning. My name's Peter D'Arienzo from the John Ball Zoo. And we're project number 282 and 290. And I'd love to have 2 minutes, but I'll try to do my best to stay at 1 minute. You already know all about the details of what's in the project. So I'd like to talk about why are we asking for the support. And I've talked about we're the largest economic driver in the region. In cultural arts, we're one of the largest economic drivers in the entire state. We're also a county asset, and by the end of next year, we will have gifted almost $30 million of new assets to the county. We also provide access to the entire community, regardless of their economic background, through the free admission through the Bridge Card. But we're also a cultural arts institution. And someone asked me, why are we a cultural arts institution? Well, what is Michigan culture? It's love of one's neighbor. It's the community coming together. It's top quality schools. It's a community that values the arts and a connection to the outdoors. Last winter, while driving to work, some guy on a bike passed me in a blizzard. We love the outdoors. And the zoo is all that. People come together as families, as neighbors, to connect with each other, to learn about wildlife, to view our art exhibits, and to see our landscaping. So we reflect the culture of the county. An investment in the zoo is an investment in the quality of life for our community and the creation of hundreds of new jobs. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next, we have Marcus Little, and on deck, Sean Campbell.
Morning. That's the first time my last name has been called good. I'm here to represent the Literacy Center of West Michigan and our Executive Director, Wendy Falb, as well as our partners, Spectrum Health, Grand Rapids Community College, and The Source on Project 250, the Kent County Healthcare Talent for the Future. This project will bring transformative and deep impact to our community by bringing best practice workforce development tools to our healthcare sector. The Literacy Center and Grand Rapids Community College have a long track record of upskilling workers in our workforce. The Literacy Center, by removing English as a barrier for workers who are refugees, immigrants, and new Americans but want to participate in our workforce. This project over 2 years will bring 200 individuals into the workforce through Earn to Learn initiatives, where they'll be working part-time and learning part-time, but being employed full-time by Spectrum Health to move from entry-level positions into mid-level medical positions. This will promote equity, as well as strengthening our healthcare system devastated by COVID, and bringing better healthcare outcomes for our community. Thank you.
Thank you. Again, that was Project 250. I think it's under the workforce development category.
Sean Campbell, and on deck, Dilly Gautam.
Hi, I'm here to speak about project number 173, removing lead paint from a transformational community treasure. Gilda's Club Grand Rapids is located at 1806 Bridge Street, just a short way from the Jewel Medical Mile. We exist to provide emotional health support to anyone on a cancer grief journey. 15% of our membership identifies at under the federal poverty level. ARPA funds are allowing Kent County to invest in a stronger community and better future. One of the identified key areas of focus is community health, including removing lead paint from homes. Gilda's Club programming takes place in an 1845-year-old farmhouse that has exterior lead paint. An investment in our proposal would not only help assist with lead paint abatement or remediation, but it simultaneously helps the community health priority of investing in existing mental and physical health programs. Support of our proposal allows charitable dollars to directly impact program support without the burden of a capital project. Thank you.
Thank you. Again, that was Project 173 under the lead category.
Dilly Gautam, and on deck, DeAndre Jones. All hear that? He thanked me for saying his name correctly.
Take it where you can get it.
Respected Commissioner, I'm here speaking on behalf of the Refugee and Immigrant Health Center, Project 249. My name is Dilly Gautam, Associate Director of Community Engagement for Bethany Christian Services and President of the Bhutanese Community of Michigan. I'm a former refugee from Bhutan, arriving in Kent County 10 years ago. This proposal concept has been in development for a number of years by refugee resettlement agencies, ethnic-based community organizations, business, schools, and healthcare systems in Kent County. The health center will have a transformational impact for immigrants and refugees with several long-term benefits on the Kent County community. Equitable healthcare provision, positive health outcome for newcomers, and efficient and sustainable provision of healthcare is in everyone's best interest. Prioritizing equitable access to services with a special focus on unique needs of refugees is part of Kent County Welcome Plan. This health center will have a key part meeting these needs while creating an equitable and deeper sense of belonging for over 50,000 new Americans that call Kent County home. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Again, that was Project 249 under the Immigrant Services category.
How you doing,
DeAndre Jones, and on deck, Julietta Tornes.
How you doing? My name is DeAndre Jones, Project 26, but I'm not here to talk about my project. I'm here to talk about the south side of Grand Rapids. This is the second worst city for economic development for African American people, right behind Detroit, which is the largest city of African Americans in the United States. I know there's a lot of Caucasian people. It's not a lot of people of color here, but I want you guys to please consider the projects of African Americans and people of color, because I'm tired of people struggling. I'm tired of people of color not having the same opportunities. This is one opportunity with 127 million, maybe like 116 million dollars. But I would like for you guys to please consider the projects of people of color, because we need an opportunity too. We need economic growth. We're the ones shooting each other. We need to fix the problems in our community, and the only thing that's going to solve that is capital, which is funding, which is money, which is financial resources to help our communities. I'm out there in the community on the south side, and I'm always on the south side giving back to my community, and I know the problems of that community. I'm not here to talk about my project. I just wanted you guys to consider the projects of people of color. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you, DeAndre.
Julietta Tornes? Julieta? Oh. And then on deck, David Doyle. Good morning.
Morning. Good morning, everyone. I'm here to represent the organization of Puertas Abiertas. The family is a child-first environment and their point of reference in their development as a person. But when family's environment is compromised because of domestic violence, the family is left with devastating and generational trauma. Statistics prove children who witness domestic violence will have a greater tendency to replicate it as an adult, ending in a life of criminality. Puertas Abiertas assists about 3 to 4 new clients a week looking to get out of an abuse situation and wanted to give their children a life free of violence and self-sufficiency. Between January and June of this year, Puertas Abiertas assists 156 new clients, providing legal, emotional, financial, and educational support and believe in themselves again. This proposal will support us to help us to continue with this resource, which therefore makes a great contribution to rooting our crime in our society. I'm proud of this program and this organization, and I know it's working. Let's break the cycle together. Thank you.
Thank you. I believe that was project number 8 under public safety.
Next, David
you.
Doyle.
Good morning. Thank you for this opportunity. I'm David Doyle. I'm here on behalf of Friends of Valley Field, one of the most historic sites in the state of Michigan, a place where people like Satchel Paige, Al Kaline have played there over the years. This project is ready to go. We've engaged Integrated Architecture. We have Rockford Construction engaged. We have $1.1 million committed from the city of Grand Rapids from their Parks Millage. And we've, in the past couple of years, beyond baseball, we've had 36 different events there, including the Grand Rapids Symphony playing at the field. We will continue to do those things, and we look forward to your support. Thank you.
Thank you, David. That is project number 45, and it is in the Parks and Recreation.
Mr. Chair, that's the end of our speaker cards.
Really? Okay. Did we cover everyone, or did somebody slip in the back that did not sign in that we? Okay. Well done. I'll give you full credit for that, Madam Clerk. All right. So with that, we will now move to our exercise. And I'm going to ask Al to introduce that and describe perhaps in more detail how this will progress. And I see that some are reaching for their clickers. I have not found a better word for the thing other than clicker.
Device.
The device. So make sure you have your remote device zapper before we get too far down. We'll address that and put it in here as it'll not have a number, right? It'll be a separate question, yeah.
Ready?
You gotta have one of ours. Yes, I'm sorry.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Just a quick message to the members. Should anybody have to leave at this time, beginning from now during this exercise, if you could please let me know so that I can record that time. Thank you.
Yes, and if you do have to leave, I'm hoping that that's not the case, but if you do have to leave, also leave your clicker, because it's important that this have, Commissioner, it's important that we have these things under control so that they don't get in other hands, because the only people that are getting clickers are commissioners. So. I'm sorry, I'll go.
All right. Good morning. For this prioritization exercise, we're using the Turning Point Solutions Echo 360 software, which provides a means of quickly and efficiently assigning preference ratings to a list of projects. Each commissioner will use a hardware clicker to assign a value between 1 and 5 to each proposal as it appears on the screen. So one clicker gets one ranking. The results of each question will be displayed in real time and later posted on kentcountyarpa.com. We'll start with the internal county proposals to allow really the board to norm. Usually when a group first starts using this, it can be a little slow, and then all of a sudden people get the hang of it and it starts rolling a little bit faster as you move through the proposals. We'll start with the internal county proposals, and because it's a shorter list, that'll give you a chance to norm, get used to the system, work out any inefficiencies, that type of thing, and then we'll take the much larger list on at that time. And I think we have additional staff comment. Lori, did you have a few things to add?
If you do, can you have a microphone? Okay. Can you use the one at the podium? No?
Yep, that'll work.
Okay, so as Chair Steck said, there are 19 clickers that are available for a vote. You can see that on the screen right up to the right-hand side where it says 19 seats. There are only 17 commissioners here in attendance. Chair Steck, can you please confirm that there are 2 clickers left on the table in the back?
There are 2 clickers left.
Okay.
And I believe Commissioner Bulkowski is not here and Commissioner Womack. Okay.
Okay, so we will go ahead and get started into the software polling.
Well, before we do the actual polling, can I add a couple of more things? One is, and when you do that, you'll be describing what we will see on our screen and what the public will see on the large screen. Again, underscoring this is an attempt, an exercise to measure grading. It is not a vote. There is no preconceived grade that a project must have in order to move forward for further consideration. So don't look at this and say, oh, it got a grade of 2.6, that must mean X. It doesn't. We are simply taking this as a process to instruct us when we go to the more difficult step of analyzing and coming back with full proposal recommendations. The second is, I just want to make it clear, it's 127 million. That's the number everyone hears. Of that 127 million, the county has allocated about $11 million for projects already that have already been spent or in the process of being spent. So that number is not in the current consideration. The second is this concept of holdback. The holdback is a concept in which involves holding back a component of the total dollars available to make sure that we have addressed the potential that there are projects that even though they thought they could get it done for X dollars, it needs some more in order to make sure the project's done. So we want to have the flexibility of being able to address that eventuality or possibility. And the second is in case there are unforeseen projects that come out of left field that we did not see. So we were initially told by our consultants to hold back 25% of that. After we've received as many proposals as we did and going through this, I asked my commissioners to advise me on what their thoughts are on that. Do we still hold back 25% or do we hold back less than that? And the general consensus is that we release another 10 million into the allocations and only hold back approximately 20 million. So that will increase what we're able to spend in this process. So that's what I wanted to say. Now you can go.
Do you have more?
I do not. Do you have more?
We'll walk through right now how to some more things about the clickers. But yes, we can go ahead and get started.
For the public, none of us have had clicker training, so this is our first walkthrough with clickers.
How do you hit ESPN?
Okay, to start the polling exercise, Sandra is going to read the theme, the project number, the proposal title, and then the countdown timer will begin. This will make sense because we're going to do a couple practice questions before we jump in. Ratings can be answered once the countdown timer comes up on your screen or I say polling is open. Only one ranking can be entered per device, but anytime that the polling is open, you can change your vote. So if you wanted to give one, you hit 3, but you meant 2, you can do that as long as the countdown timer or the polling is open. If for some reason you made a mistake and the countdown timer closes, we can always re-poll the question. That is easy to do.
Well, let me underscore, don't wait later. I mean, if you scored it and you want to change that score, or you didn't get it in and the timer's done, the time to fix that is right then. Don't wait till the end of the day and say, you know, on that project, I want to change my score. Does that make sense? Because then we can fix it right then.
Fix it in real time. And then once all of the 17 rankings are entered or the countdown timer has ended, the results will show up on the screen before we move to the next question. So those are just some basic. We'll do a couple practice questions before we move into our first official one. So your first practice question is, indicate how strongly you agree or disagree with the following statement. I like eating fruit more than chocolate. The countdown timer has begun. Polling is open. Please insert your ranking. Just hit the number. Nope. And if you hit, we have it coded as values of 1 to 5. If you hit 7, 9, you're going to get a little red blinking on that, and that's what that is.
So how can we tell we were successful?
I'm looking at the number of responses right now. I can't tell what an individual person has, but that is what the results will show. So when we get to, what will happen is sometimes you have to press down a little hard on the clicker. So when there's 10 seconds remaining and I only see that we have 16 responses left, I will say, please hit it again, because I don't know which one of you didn't respond,
But
but
somebody did not respond.
Yes. Do you want to redo that, or do you want to go to the second practice question?
Or did somebody know they did not respond? He's still on ESPN.
I can vouch for him.
Let's redo it.
Let's redo it then. Clean the slate and we'll do it again.
And you can't do it until the clock starts, because that's what I did.
Okay, so I will not read the question again, but I will open the timer. Please enter your ranking.
It automatically goes off by itself.
Timers in the corners, you might want to mention that.
Everybody has entered the ranking. There are how the results will appear after each question. The second practice question, how important is customer service to you? Clock has opened, please enter your ranking. All 17 have entered it, so I will go ahead and close the ranking, the polling. And there are your responses.
We can calculate the average score. I think this is.
Everybody comfortable to move on to now the first official question, or do you want to do another practice one?
So, for those that voted 1 and thought they wanted to vote 5, how do you vote a second time? You just
Hit it.
Hit the right one, it replaces.
Oh, it just automatically replaces it.
While the countdown timer is on or polling is open, you can change your votes.
As many times as you want.
It's when if you realized you made the mistake after the countdown timer goes away,
Fair
then
enough.
we'll just have to re-poll.
Chair, I'd like to experience that. Can we do this one again?
We can do this one again.
I want to put in one and then change it. And then, since there aren't a whole lot of low priorities, I'm gonna make mine from high to low and see if it shows up.
We know who you are then.
That's okay, I don't mind. I just want to make sure it works.
Fair enough.
Okay, we will reopen it. Polling is open.
I don't want that number.
I just want to test it to make sure it works.
We have 17. Is everybody comfortable? Okay.
There you go.
We
It
like
did.
this, we like this, yeah, this is fun.
I'm good.
Okay, we will move.
Glad I could bring a little levity into your life. All right. So.
Thank you, Chair.
Are folks comfortable with the technology? I mean, it's not like your TV controller, Roger, where you have to aim it at the TV. I think it picks it up automatically.
It's just a sports channel.
Yeah. So again, if you vote, the numbers beyond 1 through 5, it won't tabulate it, so, and I guess you can vote as often as you want. Your last score is what is recorded. And again, if you think you've made a mistake, you're not comfortable with the score being there or right, fix it, let us know now. Don't wait till later. Before we move to the next project for voting, we want to know right away.
Roger has a question.
And then what you will see here is only after that portal is closed for voting, you'll see the total score here. Yes, Roger.
Do you have to vote on every project, like a 1 or 2, or?
If
1
you
through
don't,
5.
Yeah. 1 through 5.
you have to vote 1 through 5 on every project.
Yes.
Because if you don't, she will tell us there's somebody that didn't
Got
vote.
it.
5 is top priority, 1 is low.
For every project, these,
Is good, one is bad.
well,
It's baseball, not golf.
yeah.
Yeah.
I want to be clear, that's not, this word is intentionally identified as a priority vote, not a vote on the quality of the project, right? So, as we said at the beginning, there's a lot of great projects here that, for better, for worse, at the end of the day, may not make the priority measure, may not be the funding, but,
Got it.
okay? All right, any other questions from commissioners? If not, I think we're ready to go. Again, as Al said, we'll be doing the grading for the department projects first, and then we'll move to community projects.
Okay, the first question is going to be related to the ARPA holdback. What percentage of ARPA funding should be held in reserve until 2023? Polling is now open. We have 17 responses. Is everybody comfortable? Okay. Here are the results from that question. Okay, now we will move into the internal county proposals.
Let me just, one other thing. Underscoring, we've said this a lot, but when we're voting for a project, we are not voting for a specific dollar amount for the project, all right? Is that clear? Yeah. So if we vote high on a priority for a project, the amount that we might later choose to fund is subject to further consideration later. Even though the project might say the request is for 50 million, that does not mean 50 million. Is that, okay.
Want to restart this one?
Yep, please.
Commissioners, we will begin with county proposal number 1 for broadband installation.
The timer has started. Okay, all 17 responses. Anybody want to change theirs? If not, I will close polling. Okay.
Clear as mud.
That should help us a lot.
Verifies things totally.
So much better.
Project number 2, government services, organizational and development.
Third internal county project is the Behavioral Health Crisis Center. The polling has now opened. We have 17 responses. Does anybody want to change that? Fourth internal county project is the Kent County Insurance Authority. Timer has now started. Seventeen responses have been recorded. Does anybody want to change? Internal Project 5, South, North, or Kentwood Landfill PFAS Treatment Facility. Timer has now started. Seventeen responses have been recorded. Internal Project 6, the Medical Examiner Facility. Timer has now started. Seventeen responses have been recorded. Internal Project 7, a new county administration building. The timer has now started. Seventeen responses have been recorded. Internal Project 8, fixture replacement for homes needing lead remediation. The timer has now started. Seventeen responses have been recorded. Internal Project 9, lead remediation for qualified census tracts. The timer is now open. Seventeen responses have been recorded. Internal Project 10, the Grand River Greenway, paved trails, river access, and parking. Seventeen responses have been recorded. Internal Project 11, Cannonsburg DNR Trust Fund. Seventeen responses have been recorded. Internal Project 12, the School Safety Radio Network.
No. Yeah, ours says roads and transportation. Is 12.
I think we moved roads and transportation back to the community proposals and didn't move it to internal projects. We can certainly add it later. I mean, we can add a slide to it.
It's really not an internal project. It'll come up. but-
It will come up. Yeah, we can reopen this one. Yes, we will.
School safety radio.
Yeah, we'll be voting on the School Safety Radio Network. Seventeen responses have been recorded. Internal Project 13 is the comprehensive records digitize. Do you want to do this one or not? Do you want to skip it or?
Skip it. You want to do it?
Well, what is it, and how much is it gonna be, and?
Okay, this is $8 million to digitize all the records in the district court, probate court, and circuit court. State money was limited to the online system, case filing management system, and not to digitize the records. So it's kind of a necessary step to have a very efficient online case management system.
Did you say 8 million?
Yeah.
Okay, because the booklet that is in there and it's listed as Project 13.
It is a big difference, right?
Well, so it is a big difference, but again, keep in mind, we'll deal with the amount of funding subsequent to this. The intent here is to measure the project itself. Yeah, let's redo this one because it was not, I didn't have it on my list either. I mean, I'm aware of the project. I was not aware it was going to get graded.
Internal Project 13, comprehensive records digitization. Seventeen responses have been recorded. That concludes the
Okay. Do we want to take a short break before we move to the next set?
Sure.
All right, let's take a 10-minute break, and we'll reconvene to take on the community measures at about 3 to 10. Let's go ahead and reconvene. Before I turn it back over to you, Lori, the number of clickers has changed. Commissioner Womack is able to join us. He now has, you have a clicker? Okay. Were you able to explain the clicker process to him?
Yes, but let me just make sure.
Okay.
As we know, as the slides come, 5 is good, 1 not so good.
Low priority.
Well, I'm not going to live with that
Yeah.
one.
Go ahead and explain, Sam.
For each project that will be called up here, you'll be asked to identify a vote between 1 and 5. 1 means you believe it should be a lower priority. 5 means it should be the highest priority, and anywhere in between. You will have up to 30 seconds, though we're getting these done in about 15 seconds, sort of. All you have to do is push the button, and that'll give the grade that you are assigning to it. It does not get identified, it's just identified on the screen as.
And you're not saying, you're not voting on the value of
Right.
the project, it's for this.
Right. So again, this is a vote, a measure, a grade for this funding allocation process. It is not necessarily whether you're saying this is a good project or a bad project. It is whether or not you support, at what depth, using the ARPA funds for this project. Is that clear? Okay. And if you push a button as a vote and you wish to change it, you may change that vote anytime within that 15 or 20 seconds that the voting is open. Once it closes, it closes. If you've made a mistake, please let us know right away that you made a mistake so that we can catch that before we go on to the next project.
Thank you, Chair.
Got it? All right. So, thank you. I was going to underscore many of those comments, which is these are not votes. They're intended to be the measure of the board's identification of the priority of these projects. So again, for those of you who are here from the public that are watching your projects, please understand that that's what this is. It is not a vote up or down, and it is not a vote for any specific level of funding. It is a measure of interest and prioritization of that project. Subsequently, it'll be determined whether it's recommended for funding and at what level it is to be recommended to funding, because clearly this board will have to eventually come back and analyze and deliberate and make a decision. This is not the decision time. All right.
Before we start,
Yes.
Thank you. One of the questions that I have is, we have this agreement with the zoo. If any of these projects go through for the zoo, does that go toward their contract with us? The amount of funding that we could give them?
I will say preliminarily, we have concluded that if there is ARPA funding for any of the zoo projects, that ARPA funding would not be counted against the prior contractual obligation that we have to the zoo for capital projects.
Hey, thank you.
All right, any other questions before we move to the community projects? All right, I've asked Lori to maybe shorten the time. I know it has a 30-second timer on it, but she says that we're so good at this already. We're turning the gradings in within 15 seconds. So I've asked her to identify when is the grading completed. At this point, when we have 18 grades, and to identify all grades are in. If you wish to change it, now's the time. If not, close it, move to the next one. Make sense? All right. And one other thing I will say, that we're going to go through this in the sequence that's in the catalog. I know there's been a lot of spreadsheets out there, but the intent is that we're going to go through these in the sequence of the catalog, which means we're going to go through categorically.
They match.
Yes, yeah, they match.
The last one we got yesterday at 11:28. Correct.
Yeah. Point well taken. So it's intended to follow the sequence that's in the spreadsheet. If there's any question in your mind as we get into this, we want to make sure we don't get the wrong grades on the wrong projects. So if you need to go back and double check or index or there's ambiguity, just hold up, tell us you want to look at it, whatever it is, but don't just guess at these grades. We want to make sure they're right. Okay? So we're going to go in categories again. The first category is affordable housing. And this is a category that has, I don't know, 15 different projects that are identified in it. This is the one where you have to note that there is an additional project that is added because of the changes in the regs that allows for revolving loan accounts. So we'll go through the existing projects first. Then what we'll do is I'll have Al describe the revolving loan account project, and we'll grade that after we get through the first ones. Okay? With that, I will turn it back over to Sandra or Lori. She's standing, so I guess to Sandra.
Chair Steck, before we confirm, we're going to be doing 18 votes. Can you please confirm that there's one clicker still relaying on the table in the back?
There is one there, and I presume all commissioners kept your clickers? Okay. So there should be 18 commissioners here, 18 clickers, and each project should have 18 votes. I'm sorry, after saying that these are not votes, I wouldn't use the term. 18 grades. Excuse me.
Okay, we will get started.
In the category of affordable housing, we will begin with Project 168, Kent County Equitable Housing Initiative.
Timer has started. Please enter your ranking. 18 responses have been recorded.
Moving to Project 21, the 415 Franklin Project.
Timer has started. Eighteen responses have been recorded.
Project 165, UMCH 900.
Timer has now started. Eighteen responses have been recorded.
Project number 5, Community Land Trust.
Chair Steck,
Yes, I'm sorry. Hold
Just-
that before we open it.
just for the record, I will, even though this is grading and not voting, I will be abstaining from this grading as it is my employer who submitted the proposal.
Thank you for that All right, now move on. We are at project number 5, correct? Why don't you
Correct.
clear the slate, because I don't think folks voted on that one yet.
Again, this is project number 5.
Can you clean the slate, please? Can you?
what's it doing?
What?
It's going up. It's tabulating as you're doing.
Can you not tabulate publicly until it's done? I'm taking that as a no, you can't.
We have to. It's gonna, just for, I don't know why this slide is doing that, but if you can just enter the polling for this one.
This project number 5, just close your eyes and vote. How about that?
Grade.
Grade.
Voting.
We only have 14 responses recorded for that.
We need 18.
17.
In this case.
Oh, I'm sorry, 17, yes.
That one, or move on? We had
Nope.
15 total responses.
All right, let's start over again, clean it. All right, project number 5, everyone vote, please.
Seventeen responses have been recorded.
Thank you.
Moving to project number 92, Bridge to Home.
The timer has now started. 18 responses have been recorded.
Project 180, Heartside Health District Revitalization.
Responses have been recorded.
Project 281, Housing Stability Investment through Geographic Congregation Networks.
Eighteen responses have been recorded.
Project 206, Manufactured Home Community Ownership.
Eighteen responses have been recorded.
Project 158, Kent County Equitable Housing Initiative.
Eighteen responses have been recorded.
Project 205, Housing Kent, a shared vision for housing stability through shared measurement, coordinated entry, and public will building.
Responses have been recorded.
Project 273, Leonard Street Neighborhood Improvement Project.
Eighteen responses have been recorded. Chair Steck, we will turn it over to you for the next slide, or to Al.
All right, thank you. That is otherwise the list of projects within the affordable housing category. As I've told you yesterday and again today, that there is a change, or has been a change in the regulations with respect to the ability to have a revolving loan account projects, and so I'm going to turn it over to Al to describe what is being added as an additional potential project for grading.
Right. This is late breaking, but the conversation about whether it was possible to set up or possibly setting up a revolving loan fund for affordable housing in the Kent County community, not the county government necessarily, but all of our partners who are working on affordable housing, has been ongoing for some time. Where ARPA dollars are concerned, the U.S. Department of Treasury regulations did not allow ARPA money to be used to set up a housing revolving fund until after the proposals were submitted in the Kent County ARPA process. And so we wanted to include a question on whether the board would, how the board would see this sort of option, because there's a possibility of investing these funds with a community development financing institution that would be set up for this purpose, that would have about $1.1 billion in assets and could match any contribution by 3. So, for example, should you put in $10 million, they would match it with $30 million, and that would be $40 million. And so the potential is to invest, have it matched, and other nonprofits, other organizations, for-profit businesses could all invest in the same fund as well. And so the potential would exist to create something that all of the projects that applied here could apply to. And I think it would also perhaps create the possibility of truly countywide impact, because obviously you receive proposals that were submitted for specific projects in specific parts of the county, but certainly not the county as a whole. So that's why we thought it was important that you see that this is a late-breaking option. It could encompass everything that's been submitted today, as well as projects throughout Kent County.
And it would be, excuse me, it would be a revolving account structure that would allow for the funds to continue to be retained and reused over and over again for additional projects. Yes, Roger.
Yeah, thanks, Mr. Chair. The eligibility requirements, would that fall under the current CDBG requirements and HUD requirements, or?
That's something the board could have a voice in at the time you set this up with the CDFI, as far as what you want the eligibility to be.
Oh, so it's not predetermined?
My understanding is that you can set that as a condition of granting the funds.
Because, you know, CDBG is becoming more and more difficult to navigate these days.
Right.
Yes, Commissioner Sparks.
What will the rate of return be on the, or what will the interest rates be for the?
I suspect it'll be subsequently determined or fixed, but am I right?
It would be, yeah, it would be driven, right. And there'd be 2 types of loans. One would be a loan that would return the money in 3 to 4 years, and the other type of loan would be returning the money in 15 years. So obviously this would turn over and grow over time and be available, to keep doing these types of projects.
So it has flexibility, and if we agree to do this or decide to do this, the amount of money that we decide to do that with, again, would be determined later, but as Al said, there is potential to match these dollars fourfold, so. Yes, Commissioner Coleman.
Thank you, Chair. Did the Department of Treasury put any kind of monetary cap on the use of ARPA funds for revolving?
Not that I'm aware of, no.
Okay. Just a second. I think Commissioner Antor, you had your hand up.
Thank you, Chair. Yeah, I was just wondering who would be out there that would take care of any delinquent situations?
That would have to be worked out in the project, clearly, yeah.
It would be the institution that loans the funds. We would be granting the money to the institution, and then they would take the ball from there.
But we'd be granted it under stipulations and conditions, so we'd have to build that into the contract.
Right.
I think Commissioner Womack, you had a question, then Commissioner.
Yes. With my study of it and conversations surrounding the revolving loan fund, there's some new information that came after we voted. So one of my questions would have been before we voted, even though I don't think it would change my vote too much, but when we talk about, you mentioned that we couldn't do this until we had proposals from some of our community partners. Now that we're publicly talking about this great revolving loan fund, would they be the only ones eligible? And what about new partners and people that would hear about this and think it's a great opportunity, organizations? What would be their opportunity to be eligible to get involved in this?
Yeah, absolutely. I think the intention is they would be eligible to, if we move forward with this project and define it, it wouldn't be just to fund the projects that have been submitted. It would be available for others. And since it's a revolving account, it could be for others that don't even exist yet today.
Okay, I thought so, but I wanted to just have some
fair
clarity.
enough.
Thank you so much, Chair.
Commissioner Ponstein.
Thank you, Chair Stein. So this is for ARPA. Just for clarification, can we do this with non-ARPA funds or just do it through general funds?
We cannot do housing projects through general fund.
All right. I said there'd be no debating on this, and here I am debating. All right, go ahead. Yeah, I understand. This is a unique situation.
Second
Commissioner Morgan.
question. And now that we know more of it, I'm just wondering, are there any other commissioners who vote would have been lower or higher with this additional information?
I don't think it would make a difference on that. On the measures of the existing projects, depending upon, if this does not get set up, then that would be the grading. If this is set up, then the grading perhaps becomes secondarily relevant because they would be resubmitting their projects to the new entity.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Chair. I think just as a point of clarification, it might help. There was a previous proposal that was on this list that referenced this as a potential if it were authorized, but is not explicitly, was a proposal for a revolving fund. So this is the only, to my knowledge, the only proposal coming forward talking about creating a revolving fund.
Correct.
So, thank you.
And I think to clarify, it's a proposal, but it's, what we're asking you is to grade the priority of defining a proposal in this category. It does not yet have a,
Correct.
it's not a proposal yet.
It's not a, right.
Right. Okay, have we? The nods are yes, vote. So I think, go ahead, set it up and let's get with the vote.
Okay, the question is affordable housing. Invest ARPA funds into an affordable housing revolving loan fund. Timer has started. 18 responses have been recorded. Now moving into the new category of arts and culture.
Project 39, the Emory Arts and Culture Hub.
Eighteen responses have been recorded.
Project 132, catalyzing our community's future.
Eighteen responses have been recorded.
Project number 77, Arts Marketplace at Studio Park.
Eighteen responses have been recorded.
Project 108, Grand Rapids Ballet 50th Anniversary Renovation and Expansion.
Eighteen responses have been recorded.
Project 245, Hermitage at Diamond, where arts and community meet.
Eighteen responses have been recorded.
Project 123, Asian American Pacific Islander Studies Center.
18 responses have been recorded.
Project number 73, Fuse Opera Hip Hop.
Eighteen responses have been recorded.
Project number 107, After Dark.
Eighteen responses have been recorded.
Project number 296, Celebrating Our Mexican Heritage.
Eighteen responses have been recorded.
Project number 259, Grand Rapids African American Museum and Archives.
Eighteen responses have been recorded.
Project number 149, Creative Learning Center at the Grand Rapids Art Museum.
Eighteen responses have been recorded.
Project number 215, Third Thursdays.
Eighteen responses have been recorded.
Project number 200, BIPOC 2 Community Cultural Center.
Eighteen responses have been recorded.
Project 184, Art Prize Equity Grants.
Eighteen responses have been recorded.
Project number 137, Dynamic Community Engagement for Social Impact.
Eighteen responses have been recorded.
Project number 52, Four-Star Theater Renovation.
Eighteen responses have been recorded.
Project number 260, Baxter United.
Eighteen responses have been recorded.
Project number 330, Hip Hop for Mental Health.
Eighteen responses have been recorded.
Project number 299, National Broadway Theater.
Eighteen responses have been recorded.
Project number 160, Broadway Arts Access.
18 responses have been recorded.
Project number 162, improve government operations through innovative, interactive, and immersive cultural competency experiences.
Eighteen responses have been recorded.
Project number 333, GR MiFi's infotainment ecosystem.
Eighteen responses have been recorded. Now moving into the next theme of broadband.
Project number 210, Alaska Ridge broadband expansion.
Eighteen responses have been recorded.
Project number 247, Seeds of Promise, Technology to Grow.
Eighteen responses have been recorded.
Project number 276, CBRS Private LTE Infrastructure.
Eighteen responses have been recorded.
Project number 6, Grattan Township Library Parks and Recreational Center.
Responses have been recorded. Moving to the next theme of business grants.
Project number 238, Kent County Nonprofit Resource Alignment.
We have 16 responses recorded. Responses are now recorded.
Project number 293, Prevention Program Monitoring and Evaluation.
Eighteen responses have been recorded.
Project number 225, Innovative Strategies for Economic Growth in the Kent County Minority Business Community.
Eighteen responses have been recorded.
Project number 252, County of Kent Micro Business Capacity Building Program.
Eighteen responses have been recorded.
Project number 286, Equitable, Healthy, and Zero Carbon Buildings Initiative Housing Renovation Pilot Program.
Eighteen responses have been recorded.
Project number 193, Community Insight and the Kent County Community Data Trust.
18 responses have been recorded.
Project number 332, Estate Planning Social Justice Program.
Eighteen responses have been recorded.
That's the last of the business grants. We're up to community.
No, there's one more.
One more, okay. Oh, so there is.
Project number 18, Black Wall Street, Grand Rapids.
Responses have been recorded. What I'm doing right now is resetting the session, so if there's a practice session, that will be wiped out. Of Community Center.
Project number 68, renovation of Seidman Club Boys and Girls Clubs of Grand Rapids.
Eighteen responses have been recorded.
Project number 34, Community Center is the theme, pardon me. Funding is requested by NIA Center to build a major physical space to provide programming, activities, and events for the underserved communities of color.
Well, there's two projects in this one, right?
It's still the it's the Boys and
Oh, I see, yeah.
If I may, it looks like the project numbers are correct, though. And
Yeah.
if we go back to the previous slide, it might show, so it might just be worth changing that title.
We already voted on the Boys and Girls Club. 68.
Right, but the project number might have just, the next,
68's the right one for that one, so it's your next one. 34-268 is not the Boys and Girls Club.
but it's the NIS.
It is the NIA.
it got mistitled.
Yeah.
I guess.
Why don't we skip that one, and then when we take a break, we will make sure that we come
Well,
back and vote.
I think
on
we
it.
all know what it is, right? I think we all
Yeah.
understand this is the Community Center Project 34/268 by the NIA Center. Is everyone clear on that? So even though it's mistitled here, we know which one? Okay, why don't we go ahead and open the portal and we'll vote on it.
Responses recorded. Was there anybody abstaining from this one? 18 responses have now been recorded.
Project number 116, Boston Square Community Hub.
Eighteen responses have been recorded.
Project number 253, Cascade Library Community Garden and Activity Space.
Responses have been recorded.
Project number 159, Kraus Memorial Library Expansion.
Responses have been recorded.
Project number 76, Rise Up Community Center, Solon Township and Cedar Springs.
Responses have been recorded. Now moving to the next theme of DEI.
Project number 22, Why Words Matter, providing LGBTQ+ healthcare training for nonprofit organizations.
Responses have been recorded.
Project number 89, Healthcare Staffing and Consulting.
Responses have been recorded.
Project number 190, Voice Kent Survey Series.
Responses have been recorded.
Project number 275, Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Training.
Responses have been recorded. We're now moving to the next theme of disability services.
Project number 96, Adaptations Improve Job Satisfaction, Reducing Employee Turnover.
Responses have been recorded.
Project number 114, Beyond 26, Program Office Construction.
Eighteen responses have now been recorded.
Project number 267, Grand Rapids ADA Curb Cuts.
Responses. Did somebody not want? 18 responses are now recorded.
Project number 207, GRAAA James C. Veen Observatory Assembly Room.
Responses have now been recorded.
Project number 323, Kent County Autism Mental Health Initiative.
Responses have now been recorded.
Project number 62, Social Connection Opportunities for People with Autism.
17 responses. Did somebody not want to vote? Now recorded. Now moving to the next theme of education.
Project 147, Water Education and Career Program.
Eighteen responses have now been recorded.
Project number 65, Baxter Community Center Out-of-School Time Programming.
We have 17 responses. 18 responses have now been recorded.
Project number 280, ACO Professional Development and Advancement Program.
Eighteen responses have now been recorded.
Project number 278, GRPS, Ottawa Hills High School Culinary Arts Program.
Eighteen responses have now been recorded.
Project number 213, the Junior Achievement Free Enterprise Center, Building Futures, Inspiring Dreams.
Eighteen responses have now been recorded.
Project number 227, Full Steam Ahead, a dedicated STEAM learning space for Kent County.
Eighteen responses have now been recorded.
Project number 302, Public Education for Adults and Children Everywhere, Television and Radio.
Eighteen responses have now been recorded. We're now moving to the next theme of energy and environment.
Project number 67, Reducing Energy Burdens and Creating Healthier Homes for Low to Moderate Income Residents.
Eighteen responses have now been recorded.
Project number 198, Kent County Air Quality Awareness and Engagement.
Eighteen responses have now been recorded.
Project number 312, Climate Justice and Equity.
Eighteen responses have now been recorded. Now moving to the next theme of food and nutrition.
Project number 24, Growing Wyoming, Community Solutions to Nutrition Through School Gardens and Enhanced Education.
18 responses have now been recorded.
Project number 235, Nourish Tomorrow Advancement Campaign.
Eighteen responses have now been recorded.
Project number 294, Good Food Systems Initiative.
Eighteen responses have now been recorded.
Project number 311, Healthy Food Education.
We have 17 responses, 18 responses have now been recorded.
Project number 136, Kent County Food Policy Council Food Systems Assessment and Plan.
Eighteen responses have now been recorded.
Project number 310, Lamoureux Community Garden.
Eighteen responses have now been recorded.
Project number 112, Providing an Incubator Community Demonstration Kitchen.
Eighteen responses have now been recorded.
Project number 15, Grand Rapids Food Co-op Staffing Support.
Eighteen responses have now been recorded.
Project number 188, Grounding Communities in Local Food, Supporting Farmers and Intergenerational Education.
Eighteen responses have now been recorded. We are now moving to the next theme of government services. It is important to note that Commissioner Burrow has stepped out of the room, so we will be down to 17 responses unless you want to wait.
Is he getting coffee or is he doing the opposite?
I think the opposite. Heard the door.
As soon as Commissioner Antor sits down, Commissioner Sparks, thank you for moving us expeditiously through this. I think that we have just finished food and nutrition and we're about ready to start government services. All right, let's go ahead. I'll go ahead and turn it back over to you. Well, first, everyone has their clicker? Yes, and there is one clicker left on the table.
Project number 23, COVID Pay for Essential Kent County Civilian Workers.
Eighteen responses have been recorded.
Project number 83, Pay Increases for Kent County Employees Who Worked During COVID Pandemic.
Eighteen responses have been recorded.
Project number 95, Premium Payments to Retain Direct Support Professionals.
Eighteen responses have been recorded.
Project number 101, Cannon Township Resident Engagement and Technology Upgrade.
Eighteen responses have been recorded.
Project number 125, improvements to city-county building HVAC Phase 2.
Eighteen responses have been recorded.
Project number 143, fiber optic communications to critical city infrastructure.
Eighteen responses have been recorded.
Project number 50, David's House expansion.
Eighteen responses have been recorded.
Project number 127, Government Center Electric Substation Replacement.
Eighteen responses have been recorded.
Project number 48, From Foster Care to Safe, Stable, Permanent Homes.
Eighteen responses have been recorded.
Project number 87, Staff the Correctional Facility Properly.
Eighteen responses have been recorded.
Project number 309, Provide more benefits to Kent County employees.
Eighteen responses have been recorded.
Project number 4, Adult Foster Care Provider Funding.
Eighteen responses have been recorded.
Project number 135, UV System Energy Savings Improvements.
Eighteen responses have been recorded.
Project number 126, Calder Plaza Maintenance, Inspection, and Construction.
Eighteen responses have been recorded.
Project number 329, Boston Square Neighborhood Association.
Eighteen responses have been recorded.
Project number 109, Preventative Animal Control by Increasing Pet Owner Access to Veterinary Care.
Eighteen responses have been recorded. Switch the software, one moment. Set the session, so if there's any data from a practice session, that will now be erased.
Saved, right?
It's just practice data.
Right.
The next theme we're moving to is homeless support.
Can you wait 1 minute until, okay. Thank you.
Project number 174, HVAC and family apartment expansion.
Eighteen responses have been recorded.
Oh, it changed to percentage instead of number. Get it back to number instead of percentage?
Ken, do you want me to change that?
Yeah, would you, let's be
Yeah.
consistent in our, did we vote on once? We already did.
Yeah, we're gonna do it again.
Okay.
Consistent.
Yep.
Commissioners, we're going back to project number 174, HVAC and family apartment expansion.
Eighteen responses have been recorded.
Percentages.
Let me know if you need me.
Where's IT? Don't we have them handy? I thought we said.
I'm just about ready to, Commissioner.
They eat, see? They eat. Got their bagel, shut the door.
Chart values.
Now you know why I drive Studebaker.
Lori?
It's on the,
Look at the right banner, look at the
Closest
right
one.
banner, it says chart value, she
Yeah.
can do a drop down.
Lori, go to the far right, outside of your open screen.
Yeah, close out of that box,
Get the box closed,
and then look by the red.
far right.
I'm taking my clicker with me.
Oh, still doing percentages.
Yeah, she's got it, she's got it. Reset on.
That's 12 text messages. What's going on?
Chart values.
something you two agree on? Be still my heart.
You have to do reset all. Lori, does it work to go to reset all at the bottom there? You hit reset PowerPoint, but try reset all.
It's not consistent.
174?
Yeah, let's hope it comes up. Yeah, 174.
Commissioners, the third time is the charm. Project number 174, HVAC and family apartment expansion.
Eighteen responses have been recorded.
There you go.
Project number 176, permanent supportive housing.
Eighteen responses have been recorded.
Project number 187, back to work.
Only 17 responses on that one. Want to re-poll it or move?
Or everybody re-vote right now, it'll either cross out and replace it, or you'll put in your vote, so.
Yeah, turn the timer back on.
It's giving me a 0 with the line through it.
Can't do it now because it,
We have to reopen it.
want to redo it?
Yep.
Okay.
Project 187, back to work.
Eighteen responses have been recorded.
Project number 208, family shelter.
Eighteen responses have been recorded.
Project number 170, new home construction.
Eighteen responses have been recorded.
Project number 49, housing coordination and assistance.
Eighteen responses have been recorded.
Project number 118, homeless economic and workforce project.
18 responses have been recorded.
Project number 167, Workforce Development Program Training Center and Transitional Apartments.
18 responses have been recorded. You're now moving to the next theme of hospitality.
Project number 84, Marketing Kent County Cooperatively with Pure Michigan.
18 responses have been recorded.
Project number 85, Hospitality for All Ambassador Program.
18 responses have been recorded.
Project number 172, Hospitality Industry Workforce Development Project.
18 responses have been recorded. We're now moving to the next theme of immigrant services.
Project number 233, New American Housing.
18 responses have been recorded.
Project number 249, Kent County Refugee and Immigrant Health Center.
17 responses recorded. Only 17 responses were recorded in that session.
Do it again one more time, please. Must be, somebody voted before the timer, perhaps. Yeah, just, it's easy enough to just push your vote again, because it'll.
Project number 249, Kent County Refugee and Immigrant Health Center.
18 responses have been recorded.
Project number 266, Interdisciplinary Trauma Therapy.
18 responses have been recorded.
Project number 175, Project Faulu, Satellite Site Expansion.
18 responses have been recorded.
Project number 232, New American Resource Hub.
18 responses have been recorded.
Project number 14, Cross-Cultural Community Center.
18 responses have been recorded.
Project number 81, Eritrean Cultural Civic and Community Center.
18 responses have been recorded.
Project number 66, Happy People, Healthy Communities.
18 responses have been recorded.
Project number 306, Cleaning Training for East African Refugees in Kent County.
18 responses have been recorded. We are now moving to the next theme of lead.
Project number 30, Lead Education and Prevention Workshops, Parent-Led Grassroots.
18 responses have been recorded.
Project number 166, lead service line replacements.
Eighteen responses have been recorded.
Project number 258, renovate right training for contractors, property managers, and rental property owners.
Eighteen responses have been recorded.
Project number 256, proactive lead dust sampling in high-risk rental housing.
Eighteen responses have been recorded.
Project number 219, lead service line replacement.
18 responses have been recorded.
Project number 82, healthy homes for healthy kids.
Eighteen responses have been recorded.
Project number 173, removing lead paint from a transformative community treasure.
18 responses have been recorded. We're now moving to the next theme of medical care.
Project number 103, Healthy Starts Here. Finish Phase 1 and start and finish Phase 2.
Eighteen responses have been recorded.
Project number 242, Ronald McDonald House, West Michigan Mission Expansion.
Eighteen responses have been recorded.
Project number 223, Health Equity Collaborative.
Eighteen responses have been recorded.
Project number 69, Holistic Care Center for LGBTQ plus patients.
Eighteen responses have been recorded.
Project 74, Grand Rapids LGBTQ plus Healthcare Consortium.
Eighteen responses have been recorded.
Project number 104, a place-based approach to reducing health disparities in Kent County's African American community.
Eighteen responses have been recorded.
Project number 53, West Michigan Prescription Assistance Program.
Eighteen responses have been recorded.
Project number 179, On-Demand Healthcare in the Urban Core.
Eighteen responses have been recorded.
Project number 183, Community Healthcare Equity Outreach.
Eighteen responses have been recorded.
Project number 217, Children's Rehabilitation Hospital.
Eighteen responses have been recorded.
Project 19, Awareness and Action, Spanish-Speaking Blood Donors.
Eighteen responses have been recorded. You're now moving to the next theme of mental health.
Project number 35, Therapeutic Laughter Exercise.
Eighteen responses have been recorded.
Project number 63, Mental Health First Aid and Youth Mental Health First Aid Certification for the Kent County community, provided by experienced mental health and suicide prevention educators from the Mental Health Foundation of West Michigan.
Eighteen responses have been recorded.
Project number 64, Be Nice. Teams for Kent County student athletes, coaches, and families.
Eighteen responses have been recorded.
Project number 153, College University Suicide Prevention Blue Envelope Program.
You're abstaining from 153? All right. So there'll be 18 votes, 17 votes, excuse me.
17 responses have been recorded.
Project number 121, Each One Teach One Intensive Mentoring Program.
Eighteen responses have been recorded.
Project number 229, New American Mental Health.
Eighteen responses have been recorded.
Project number 88, Community Health Connections and Culture Development.
Eighteen responses have been recorded.
Project number 211, Pediatric Medical Psychiatric Unit at Helen DeVos Children's Hospital.
Are you abstaining on that one? Okay, so there'll be 17 votes on this one.
17 responses have been recorded.
Project number 40, Art for Healing.
Responses have been recorded.
Project number 51, Women Seeking Safety.
Eighteen responses have been recorded.
Project 54, expanding Hispanic behavioral health access.
Eighteen responses have been recorded.
Project number 91, clinical stability, Salvation Army Turning Point programs.
Eighteen responses have been recorded.
Project number 146, investing in our community's mental health.
Eighteen responses have been recorded.
Project number 157, mental health today.
We have 17 responses.
Everybody just revote. Let's do it again.
Project number 157, mental health today.
18 responses have been recorded.
Project number 161, expansion of behavioral health crisis services to reduce suicide.
Eighteen responses have been recorded.
Project number 122, Trauma Treatment Collaborative.
Eighteen responses have been recorded.
Project number 297, Healing the Wounds of Trauma Initiative.
18 responses have been recorded.
Project number 221, Mental Health Film Series.
18 responses have been recorded.
Project number 142, Healthy, Happy People in Parks.
18 responses have been recorded.
Project number 328, Grief and Bereavement Center.
18 responses have been recorded.
Project number 189, Fall Out of COVID-19 Aftercare.
18 responses have been recorded.
Project number 320, Living Well Together.
18 responses have been recorded. You're now moving to the theme of Parks and Recreation.
Project number 97, Vibrant Parks and Outdoor Spaces by Community for Community.
We have 17 responses. 17 responses on this one.
You redo it?
Project 97, vibrant parks and outdoor spaces by community for community.
18 responses have been recorded.
Project number 110, building connections, building communities.
18 responses have been recorded.
Project number 144, Wyoming City Center Bridge and Trail Activation.
18 responses have been recorded.
Project number 240, Franklin Alleyway Activation, 738 Martin Luther King, also Franklin Street.
18 responses have been recorded.
Project number 270, Kent County Parks and Trails Development Improvement.
18 responses have been recorded.
Project number 119, Outdoor 49507 Skating Rink.
18 responses have been recorded.
Project number 16, Investing in the Midtown Neighborhood.
18 responses have been recorded.
Project number 56, Lower Grand River Water Trail.
18 responses have been recorded.
Project number 154, Richmond Park Fun for All.
18 responses have been recorded.
Project number 140, Kent County Community Forest, 5,000 new trees.
18 responses have been recorded.
Project number 222, Prioritized Invasive Species Control to protect green spaces, county parks, and quality of life in Kent County.
18 responses have been recorded.
Project number 186, Improvements, Enhancements, and Preservation of Greenwood Cemetery, a Kent County Historical Treasure.
18 responses have been recorded.
Project number 25, Grand Rapids Public Museum, West Entry and Gathering Space.
18 responses have been recorded.
Project number 37, Johnson Park Mountain Bike Trail System.
18 responses have been recorded.
Project number 236, the Grand Rapids Children's Museum, renovated and refreshed.
Eighteen responses have been recorded.
Project number 301, Lowell Area Community Pool.
Eighteen responses have been recorded.
Project number 75, transforming Premier Athletic and Tennis Center into Southwest Kent County Community and Tennis Center.
18 responses have been recorded.
Project number 9, West Michigan Sports Complex.
Eighteen responses have been recorded.
Project number 287, Grand River Edges Trail Benches.
Eighteen responses have been recorded.
Project number 59, Cannon Township Public Park, Silver Lakes Country Club Golf Course redevelopment.
18 responses have been recorded.
Project number 196, the Grand Agricultural Center of West Michigan, Raising Barns, Building Youth Campaign.
Eighteen responses have been recorded.
Project number 282, John Ball Zoo Education Center and Front Entry Plaza.
Eighteen responses have been recorded.
Project number 271, Grand River Greenway.
Eighteen responses have been recorded.
Project number 290, John Ball Zoo Expansion and Park Amenities.
Eighteen responses have been recorded.
Project number 335, Grand Rapids BMX Freestyle Moto Park.
Eighteen responses have been recorded.
Project number 45, Fans of Valley Field Community Park.
18 responses have been recorded.
Project number 141, Community Wellness and Blues Gym.
We have 17 responses recorded. 17.
Let's do it over, please.
Project number 141, Community Wellness with Blues Gym.
Eighteen responses have been recorded.
Project number 106, Mental and Physical Wellness through Yoga and Meditation for All.
Eighteen responses have been recorded.
Project number 57, Western Regional Michigan Basketball Urban Youth Summer Basketball League.
Eighteen responses have been recorded.
Project number 318, Dreams Take Work.
Eighteen responses have been recorded.
Project number 243, Safe Spaces Initiative.
Eighteen responses have been recorded. Software.
You need to take a break or just keep going? Keep going.
Is the road commission gonna be in transportation? Is that where they moved it? Okay. So what number will be at the end of that one? Because that's coming up after public safety.
I don't know. I have it as Project 226.
Okay.
Setting the session. Okay, we are ready to move to the next theme of public safety.
All right, everybody still has their clickers, and there's still one on the table.
Project number 171, Kent County Domestic Violence Action Network.
Eighteen responses have been recorded.
Back to percentages.
I'll be right to scale there.
Reset to the top.
Lower. There we go.
We'll see if this.
Project number 171, Kent County Domestic Violence Action Network.
Eighteen responses have been recorded.
Project number 254, Bethany Christian Services Safe Families for Children Program.
18 responses have been recorded.
Project number 8, Empower Latino families to make healthy choices and free from violence.
Eighteen responses have been recorded.
Project number 145, Personal Protection Order and Firearm Enforcement Plan.
Eighteen responses have been recorded. Now moving to the roads and transportation theme.
Project number 251, Senior Transportation and Mobility and Workforce Development.
Eighteen responses have been recorded.
Project number 283, Grand Rapids Sidewalk Connectivity.
We're at 17 responses. 17 responses on that question.
Just vote again, so just in case it meant too early.
It's too late, you already said it.
Well, yeah.
You gotta reset it.
Before you reset it, we
Gotta
could just,
reset it.
but now you have to reset it.
Project number 283, Grand Rapids Sidewalk Connectivity.
Push a button. Maybe twice.
18 responses have been recorded.
36 have been recorded. I'm just kidding.
Project number 117, Kent County Transportation Assistance for Vulnerable and Underserved.
Everybody, plus twice.
17 responses are recorded. 18 responses are now recorded.
Project number 226, Transforming Kent County's Road Network.
Eighteen responses have been recorded. You're moving to the next theme of senior citizen support.
Project number 151, Walker Senior Neighbors Senior Center.
Eighteen responses have been recorded.
Project number 214, Lowell Senior Neighbors Senior Center.
18 responses have been recorded.
Project number 94, Residential Treatment Adult Foster Care Provider Network Viability.
Eighteen responses have now been recorded.
Project number 246, Senior Housing Targeting GLBT People ages 55 and older.
18 responses have now been recorded.
Project number 307, Senior Housing Targeting GLBT People age 55 and older.
Eighteen responses have now been recorded.
Project number 61, Care Resources, expansion of Second Center for the program of all-inclusive care of the elderly.
We have 18 responses have now been recorded.
Project number 72, Direct Care Worker Workforce Development.
Eighteen responses have now been recorded. We're moving to the next theme of substance abuse.
Project number 289, Chrysalis Women's Recovery.
We have 17 responses recorded. 18 responses are now recorded.
Project number 182, Clean Works Harm Reduction Program.
Eighteen responses have now been recorded. We are moving to the next theme of water and sewer.
Project number 99, Cortland Township Sanitary Sewer System Upgrades.
Eighteen responses have now been recorded.
Project number 128, Butterworth Stormwater System.
Eighteen responses have now been recorded.
Project number 138, Lake St. Jude Drainage Improvements.
18 responses have now been recorded.
Project number 228, Glen Echo Restoration.
Eighteen responses have now been recorded.
Project number 139, Timberland Drainage Improvements.
Eighteen responses have now been recorded.
Project number 163, PFAS Remediation, Water Main Extension in Cascade Township, Phase 1.
Eighteen responses have now been recorded.
Project number 164, PFAS Remediation, Water Main Extension in Cascade Township, Phase 2.
Eighteen responses have now been recorded.
Project number 58, Mandate Funding to Stormwater Management, HOA Accountability, and Long-Range Planning.
Eighteen responses have now been recorded.
Project number 177, Kent County Readiness Water Wastewater Infrastructure Program.
We have 16 responses recorded. 18 responses are now recorded. We're now moving to the workforce development theme.
Project number 60, West Michigan Hispanic Chamber of Commerce Headquarters.
We have 17 responses recorded. Seventeen responses on that question.
Can you redo that one, please?
Project.
Now voting twice. Focus, everybody, focus.
I'm putting you to sleep? Oh, thank you.
You need her at the Ford Airport to do those announcements.
Yes. Instead of.
All right. I'm sorry, I lost control here, Sandra.
You just want to hear your voice again, Sandra.
Do it again.
We are up to project 60, and she's going to introduce it one more time, and everyone will vote.
Project 60, West Michigan Hispanic Chamber of Commerce Headquarters.
18 responses have now been recorded.
Project 11, Micro Enterprise Training and Business Management Support.
Seventeen responses.
Everybody press again.
18 responses are now recorded.
Project 70, Fuel the Movement, Innovative Workforce Development for Economic Mobility.
It's 3 times.
18 responses have now been recorded.
Project 274, Kent ISD New American Career Pathways Program.
Seventeen responses are now recorded.
Oh,
Press it. Press it. Everybody press.
18 responses have now been recorded.
Microwave problem around here.
Project number 90, Investing in Minority-Owned Restaurants Impacted by COVID, Building a Cohort to Launch Packaged Foods.
18 responses have now been recorded.
Project number 98, Legal Assistance Center, Legal Self-Help Services.
Seventeen responses have been recorded.
Press.
18 responses are now recorded.
Project number 105, West Michigan Construction Institute, Phase 2 Expansion.
Eighteen responses have now been recorded.
Project number 124, SMB and Workforce Development Support and Training.
Eighteen responses have now been recorded.
Project number 134, WMCAT, employer-aligned workforce development, and guaranteed income as driver for family economic security.
Eighteen responses have now been recorded.
Project number 155, Flex Immersive IT Apprenticeship Program for BIPOC Community.
Eighteen responses have now been recorded.
Project number 241, Step Forward in Healthcare.
Seventeen responses have been recorded. 18 responses have now been recorded.
Project number 255, 3T at GVSU, Transformative Tech Talent.
Eighteen responses have been recorded.
Project number 285, Kent County's Tech Talent Pipeline Program, expanding and diversifying the future tech workforce.
Eighteen responses have been recorded. So we can skip this one. They asked to be pushed to affordable housing instead of this one, so I think you voted in that under affordable housing. Yes.
Project number 36, Employment Value Proposition, EVP.
Eighteen responses have been recorded.
Project number 169, Wood Products Manufacturing Facility.
Responses have been recorded.
Project number 224, Workforce Development Among New American Communities.
Eighteen responses have been recorded.
Project number 337, Neighborhood Thrive Pop-Up Space.
Responses have been recorded.
Project number 55, The Place Youth Media Incubator.
18 responses have been recorded.
Project number 27, Grand Rapids Community College Public Safety Training Center.
18 responses have been recorded.
Project number 33, Brody's Bee Cafe.
18 responses have been recorded.
Project number 237, Strengthening Improvised Communities.
We have 16 responses.
Cross.
Just 15?
Cross.
There were 17 responses on that question.
Almost got it done. Let's try it again.
Project number 237, Strengthening Improvised Communities.
18 responses have been recorded.
Project number 303, HR House.
Eighteen responses have been recorded.
Project number 230, Hope Network University, Strengthening the Social Infrastructure by Hiring and Retaining Hope Network Direct Support Staff Working with People with Disabilities in Kent County.
Eighteen responses have now been recorded.
Project number 201, Kent County Veterans CDL Training and Workforce Development Program.
Eighteen responses have been recorded.
Project number 250, Kent County Healthcare Talent for the Future.
Eighteen responses have been recorded.
Project number 300, BIPOC STEM Employment Talent Pipeline.
Eighteen responses have been recorded.
Project number 42, Great Lakes Technical School for Utilities and Telecommunication.
Eighteen responses have been recorded.
Project number 26, Jump Ahead L3C.
Eighteen responses have been recorded.
Project number 199, Equitable Development Initiative.
Eighteen responses have been recorded.
Project number 71, Generative Impact at 1515 Madison, Building the Social Innovation and Economic Resiliency Ecosystem for the Future.
Eighteen responses have been recorded.
Project number 178, Thrift Expansion.
Eighteen responses have been recorded.
Project number 212, Endless Opportunities Mentoring.
Seventeen responses have been recorded. 18 responses are now recorded.
Project number 269, Downtown Market Education Foundation Expansion.
18 responses have been recorded.
Project number 7, investing in circular economy infrastructure for textile reuse and upcycling.
Responses have been recorded.
Project number 261, community, economic, and workforce development in Kent County's Hispanic community.
Eighteen responses have been recorded.
Project number 239, BIPOC Intergenerational Growth and Transformation Collaborative.
Eighteen responses have been recorded.
Project number 191, the Midwest Tech Project.
Eighteen responses have been recorded.
Project number 111, Kent County BIPOC Economic Development Center.
Eighteen responses have been recorded.
Project number 327, Empower Workplace Success for Women.
Sixteen responses. 17 responses have been recorded. 18 responses have now been recorded.
Yes, Robert.
On project 250, my finger's slipping.
250. Okay, can we go back to 250 and?
Can we do it at the end?
We can do it at the end if you make a note of that. But- Okay.
Project number 304, Urban League of West Michigan Center for Economic Success and Development.
Eighteen responses have been recorded.
Project number 150, Workforce Stabilization in Mental Health.
Eighteen responses have been recorded.
Project number 113, Teen and Adult Leadership Development through Partnership.
Eighteen responses have been recorded.
Project number 216, Life and Legacy.
Eighteen responses have been recorded.
Project number 197, GR 49507, STEAM Laboratory.
18 responses have been recorded.
Project number 305, BIPOC Fiscal Sponsorship Support Program.
Eighteen responses have been recorded.
Project number 324, GR MiFi, Grand Rapids Media Initiative and Film Incubator.
Eighteen responses have been recorded. I'll go to the last theme of youth support.
Project number 32, Community Youth Respite and Trauma Center.
Eighteen responses have been recorded.
Project number 194, Live, Work, Thrive.
Eighteen responses have been recorded.
Project number 295, For Our Daughters.
Eighteen responses have been recorded.
Project number 152, Alpha Grand Rapids Men's Center Basement.
Eighteen responses have been recorded.
Project number 292, Top Notch Kids Agenda.
What was that?
Is that 150 to 200, or is it a million?
I think that's $150 to $200.
That's what it said.
Says, and I went $200. We'll pass the plate when we're done here.
Yeah, I'd have to go to the bank for that.
Did you get
Chair,
18
there was
votes?
there was 17 responses on that question.
Let's redo it, please.
Project number 292, Top Notch Kids Agenda.
Eighteen responses have been recorded.
Project number 334, Unique by Design Dance Scholarship and Internship Program.
Eighteen responses have been recorded.
Project number 331, Grand Rapids Hip Hop Academy.
Eighteen responses have been recorded.
Now you gotta redo Roberts. One more.
Oh, we gotta go back.
250.
You gotta do one more.
Can you redo 250 for us, please, Sandra? This is in the workforce development.
not always pleased if I fall asleep, but I feel like Mulder from Elephants on the Phone and fell asleep. Oh, usually it's really late at night, and I've had a couple, but I mean. But she does have one of those very soothing kind of voices, you know?
There's always one kid in the class.
Well, Lindsay, at least you did better than the, kind of the range I gave you, which, didn't I say like up to a 2 or something?
Yes, that's it.
Project
Find it.
200,
One more.
Project 250, Kent County Healthcare Talent for the Future.
18 responses have been recorded.
All right, and that's the last of them?
We're back to public comment.
Okay. So that was our practice exercise. Now we're going to start doing it for real. All right, well, first of all, thank you, Sandra, Lori, Kaylee, Jenny, who's back there somewhere, or not, yes, Mark, for all the work in getting this set up, Al as well, in creating new territory for us, as we did something we've never done before, to the best of my knowledge. So, and thank you all for your patience in working through this. Thank you for your participation in this process, and certainly thank you for the heavy lift in going back and reviewing these. Pardon me? Yeah, I've got a couple of things. Yes, we have public comment, and I had one other thing I wanted to make sure that folks knew about. Those of you who are on LHR, I believe that there are interview books ready, waiting for you to pick them up at Kaylee's desk or back there somewhere. So thank you for all your work on that. It's a particularly large group, I guess, this time around, maybe larger than we've ever had, so good news, bad news, but that's great. So now, with that, this is our second opportunity for public comment. Now open it up for public comment again from the public. The same rules apply. You have up to 1 minute. I'm thinking we don't need cards, so if you just identify yourself by name, and if you want to identify yourself by project, that's fine too.
Thank you so much for your hard work that you've been putting in today. I have less than a minute, so I'll be brief. My name's Jim Davis. I'm talking about Project 206. Family Promise deals with families with children experiencing homelessness. You're very familiar, I think, with our shelter work. Very few people are aware of the way we address permanent and sustainable housing. We do that through manufactured homes. We've been doing this for 13 years. We've grown the program to be able to do 45 homes a year now, and despite it going from $10,000 per unit to $25,000, we continue to see this as a way to avoid LIHTC and other development barriers. But unfortunately, our parks in Kent County are selling to out-of-town investment groups, and what they're doing, in addition to what we want to do is create affordable housing, we also want to maintain and retain what exists. Parks are now selling off or getting rid of old homes and changing requirements, bringing in brand new housing to up the value to resell the home. It's like flipping a house, but they're flipping parks. And in doing so, they're creating higher rents for families and making this no longer a viable option for creating and sustaining affordability for families. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Is there anyone else? You'd never miss a shot, would you?
No, I don't. I'm actually very tired, but I mean, when you care about the community and you care about seeing equity and equal opportunity, you'll stay awake. And so I just, like I said earlier, I hope you guys consider the projects to people of color. I know that to be equitable, I care that everybody can get funding, but it's only so much funding that the county has. And so I'm not just saying it like, oh, I don't want white people to get funding. I want everybody to get funding. But I just hope that you guys consider people of color, because we are always disadvantaged when it comes to government funding. That's why a lot of black people don't be in these meetings, because they don't even know these opportunities are available. And so I just hope that you guys consider people of color's projects and proposals proposals and ideas because I like to see equity. I like to see transformational change on the south side of GR. It's the second worst city for economic development. Some of you people are going to running in seats in those areas, so you aren't stepping up and speaking about those things. And I don't expect you to speak up about those things because, I mean, they're people of color. So I would really, really hope to ensure that guys would consider those projects with people of color. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else patient enough to sit through all of this and still wishes to address us? If not, thank you for your patience in sitting there. Again, thank you to all my colleagues for sitting through this and working on it hardly. I will say that it is our intention to have the cumulative results of this posted by the end of today.
Yes, correct.
By the end of today. So it should be available on Access Kent under our ARPA, KentCountyARPA.com. Great. Well, with that, if there is nothing else,
We're good to go.
we are adjourned. Again, thank you all.